Hello everybody, welcome back to Screen Stars, welcome to another PlayStation 4 review. Today's review is for Open Country. Now, Open Country was released last week on the PlayStation 4. I've tried to put as much time as I can into this game, which is why it's taken me a little bit longer to get this review out. And what is Open Country? Well, essentially, Open Country is like a semi-open world survival hunting game and crafting that I initially hadn't heard an awful lot about this game, and over the last few weeks prior to its release I started seeing a little bit more buzz about this game. It sounded interesting to me because, as you know guys, I like a good chilled out game. Now when you start this game, you are given some basic options. There is a single player, there's a multiplayer. Now you do get to customize your character as a male and a female, and there are some basic options to customize the character, but nothing major. And then you're thrust into the game as this city guy that wants to live out in the country. You go meet this guy at his kind of lodge, and immediately you are set to work with this guy, and it's like a fully involved story. It's fully voice acted, and you are sent out to do tasks and certain, like find the ranger, go and help this dog that's causing problems, go and help this neighbour deliver these goods, go and hunt this animal, etc, etc. You get the idea. And you are sent out into the wilderness to do these tasks. Now, they're essentially how this game works is you are set loose on the map, and once you get your weaponry, after the first mission I think it is, you essentially go out there, and then you've got an objective to complete, and it's kind of up to you how you complete that objective. How long you want to take to do it, and you've got options to stay out in the wilderness. By that I mean you can craft camps. The crafting options are fairly deep and in depth, but not to the same level as other survival games. You know, like I'm giving some examples like Conan Exiles and things like that. There you can make like huge buildings and even cities if you wanted to go that far. It's not as in depth here. You build basic camps, but you can upgrade them camps to like outposts and things like that. But essentially they are just camps to kind of keep you dry and alive out in the wilderness. You build your campfires, you can cook food on the campfires, etc, etc. It's reasonably in depth, and essentially you go around the environment, you'll pick up logs, branches, leaves, you'll find tarp and rope lying around the place, and you'll need all these things to be able to craft the things that you want. Now it's not just camps that you can craft a whole host of equipment that you will need out in the wilderness, and also you're going to need to learn how to craft medicines, bandages, all that sort of thing, because the elements will take their toll on you. By that what I mean, for example, if you drink dirty water you will get a parasite. And if you don't have the resources available to make like the cure for this parasite, then you are going to get poorly pretty quickly, and you need to keep constantly eating to feed this parasite. So it's up to you to learn how to get all the resources you need to be able to drink the potion to kill the parasite. Same with raw meats. If you eat raw meats and things like that, you'll get parasites. So if you fall awkwardly, you can break bones, you can sprain bones, all that kind of sprain ligaments, all that kind of stuff. So you've got to protect yourself when you're out in the elements. You've got some tools to be able to help you to hunt while you're out in the elements. Obviously you've got a few different weapons. You start off with like a basic rifle, but you can buy other weapons and things back at the lodge from Nancy, I think she's called, who's got all the things you may need. You can also buy and purchase clothing, because the clothing that you wear in this game is quite important, not only for the weather, because you'll have to wear the appropriate clothing for when it's raining, like when it's hot, when it's cold, because there are different biomes, if you like, with different weathers. So you've got to keep yourself at the right body temperature, or again you're going to fall ill. But also clothing is important in regards to the hunting. If you wear certain coloured clothing, it will aid you depending on what you're hunting. And it's up to you to learn all these things. All these mechanics work to a limited degree in the game. I'll be honest, The clothing, the coloured clothing thing, I never found to be relevant really. I did try it. I tried hunting without any particular coloured clothing for a certain creature, and then I wore a different type of clothing that said it should have been better for hunting this creature. I didn't really notice the difference, if I'm honest. There are vehicles for you to drive in the game. You got little ATVs, things like that, snowmobiles, all that kind of stuff. They are very janky to manoeuvre, I'm not going to lie. And that's a good description really overall of the game. It's very, very janky. I've come across numerous bugs playing this game. Cups floating in the air on cutscenes. The game has crashed multiple times. I've actually lost count how many times the game has crashed on me, which is really unfortunate because the progression in this game, you could literally lose an awful lot of your save, because you can only really save out in the wilderness when you've built a camp. And if you haven't had the right resources to build that camp, you could literally lose quite a lot of your game time if the game crashes. So it's a real problem when the game keeps crashing. And I must admit, it really did get on my nerves, and it held back my enjoyment of this game. The graphics are what they are. They're nothing special, but they're functional. The voice acting isn't very good at all. It's very wooden, but there's a certain charm to it, and there's a certain charm to the game. There's a leveling up system. When you complete missions, you can level up your character so you can improve areas such as your weapon skills, your survival skills, and your crafting skills. You get a dog in the game that will help you hunt certain animals in the game. You can feed him, you can pet him, and you can send him off to like search for certain creatures in the game. It's quite there's quite a learning curve in this game, because quite often, certainly in the early part of the game, I found myself out in the wilderness with a parasite, dying of hunger and thirst. Because I haven't got any clean water, I've no food left, in the pitch dark, and then my batteries run out of my torch, things like that. These are all genuine things that can happen in the game. But for me, there's too many frustrating parts of this game that hold it back. For me, the crashes are a massive problem. The janky graphics, it freezes, the frame rate, all that kind of stuff. It holds the game back from being truly enjoyable. Now, the big selling point, I think, of this game as well is the price. I mean, in the UK, it cost me less than £10 to play this game. I think that's a fantastic price, even for how janky this game is. I mean, it does need a couple of updates, please, developers. Get this game updated, get a few patches on it, and I think this will be a much more enjoyable experience for those that are playing it. Right now, I can't really recommend it really highly because of the things that are holding it back. So I'm going to give this one a 7 out of 10. It's enjoyable. There are aspects of the survival thing that really do work, but there's too many of the game mechanics that kind of hold it back. It's almost like it's tried to do too much, and not all of it kind of works. Some of it holds back your enjoyment of the game, but it is a fun game if it's your sort of game. If you like survival, like hunting games and crafting games, there are elements here that I think you're probably going to enjoy. So that's my review for Open Country. I hope you liked it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will be back with more content and reviews on the channel very soon.